Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first ever first impression video, and I really wanted to try this foundation as soon as I saw it came out. It's the Estee Lauder Perfectionist Youth-Infusing Makeup with SPF 25. I recently just ran out of my double wear. I have about 1 or 2 uses left of it. So when I was going online on Sephora, when they had their 4 times the points for Rouge members, I wanted to buy another double wear. But I came across this foundation, which is a new foundation. It's marketed at older skin, and it seemed like a better version of double wear in my opinion, because I have normal to dry skin, more dry in the winter, which is coming up. So I thought this would be a great alternative to the double wear, which is a bit too drying on my skin in the winter. This one isn't supposed to be drying like the double wear, but also provide a soft matte finish to the skin. Prior to filming this intro, I had yet to swatch this, touch this, play around with it or anything. This is 100% my first impression of this foundation. I did notice that the shade is a little bit off compared to the tawny in the double wear, so that's something I talk about later in the video. I'm just going to dive right into applying this to my face and getting right into this first impression for you guys. Right now I don't have anything on my skin. I just freshly washed my face, so I just have moisturizer, eye cream, things like that. I'm going to test out the Estee Lauder Perfectionist Youth-Infusing Makeup. It has SPF of 25. I'm not going to use a primer or anything like that because I think it defeats the purpose of a foundation first impression. So I'm going to see how this lasts without a primer. Typically I do wear a primer, but I'm going to see how it lasts without a primer. I hear it lasts all day without a primer. This is a new foundation and I've heard only raves about it. I haven't heard anyone here talk about it on YouTube yet, but I did get the shade 3W1 Tawny, and that's the shade I am in double wear. So this is the first time I'm ever going to swatch it. I just ordered the same shade. It's probably actually too light for my skin right now because I am quite tan. It has the standard 1 fluid ounce, 30 milliliters. The packaging is really nice, and for once it comes with a pump, which is amazing because if you know a double wear doesn't come with a pump, you can use the MAC ones and they fit right in there, but I've never bothered to. So we have a pump on this one, which is awesome. I'm gonna try some on my hand. Yeah, this is definitely too light for my skin right now. But you can see that's very liquidy, very runny. It goes down my hand. Double wear is runny as well, so the formula is pretty similar, but way too light for my skin at the moment. But we're gonna try and make it work. This one is Estee Lauder Double Wear in Tawny, and this one is the Perfectionist in Tawny. You can see that this is a little bit more pink, and this is more warm and a bit darker. So if you are tawny in the double wear and that's your shade, you may want to check it out in store because I do find it to be a little bit more pink and not as dark. So that's why I had a little bit of trouble at matching my skin because I'm used to this shade as opposed to that one. So that's my only problem with this foundation thus far. I have a MakeupGeek angled stippling brush and a beauty blender. I'm going to try both ways. Typically I've been preferring a beauty blender, but I am going to try the stippling brush just for purpose of this video. No primer, as I said, just straight on my skin. It might not be too bad. The formula just soaks into the skin. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like second skin. It's a beautiful finish just with one layer. I'm going to do this side of my face and then compare it. It's virtually undetectable. I already can tell I'm going to love this foundation just after this first light layer. I look a bit crazy right now. So that's just one very light layer. I am darker than the foundation, but it did even out my skin quite nicely. Gives me a nice youthful glow. It's supposed to be a semi-matte foundation. I really love the finish though, so far. Now I'm going to use the beauty blender on this side. I might actually prefer the brush with this. I like the Beauty Blender for my double wear though. So that's one very light layer on my skin. It's not that bad of a match. It kind of just works with my skin, even though I am quite tan right now. So that's really nice that it kind of adapts to your own skin. And you can still see my freckles and things like that through it, but it says it's a medium full. I'm going to try and build it up with another layer and see how that looks. But I personally just like one thin layer. I think this looks really, really good on my skin. So that's the foundation built up, 2 thin layers. It provides a really nice coverage. I barely would need concealer. I always have that freckle that kind of peeks through regardless, but it's evened out my skin tone completely. I really like it so far. Let's hope it lasts all day, but I do absolutely love the finish. It just looks like my skin. Now I'm just going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I will get back to you guys, and then I'll continue to check up throughout the day. Hey guys, I just finished my makeup and my skin still looks flawless. It's about 11 o'clock. Didn't take me too long to do my makeup. I just went with something basic and simple, and I had to tell myself not to set my face, so that was the biggest thing for me. Like, I even grabbed for it. I'm like, no, don't do that. It says it has a soft matte finish. I 100% agree with it. I think it diminishes lines in your face. It's really good, I'd say, for mature skin, which it is marketed at. But I have very little lines on my forehead, but my forehead looks like a porcelain doll. So I can tell that that looks really, really good. I noticed it did cake up a little bit around my mouth, but I think that's just because I applied 2 layers, and normally I'm probably like a one and done kind of girl. And then I would just go in with a concealer and spot conceal, but I know some people like to really build up their foundation coverage. But I think this foundation would be phenomenal as a daily, just with one thin layer and spot concealing. So far I absolutely love how it looks. It's just if it wears all day. So if it's anything like double wear, I think we're in luck. But I will continue to check up on you guys for the state of my foundation, but so far so good. I'm absolutely loving it. In case you want to know just a little bit about it, I'm going to read what's on the box. It's marketed for all skin types. It's a makeup infused with the essence of youth, supercharges your skin with fresh energy and vibrant glow, helps smooth and diffuse the look of imperfections, brightening optics, enhance skin tone, and highlight contours. Nourishing, oil-free hydration ensures lasting comfort, non-acnegenic, fragrance-free, dermatologist and ophthalmologist tested. To enjoy the last precious pumps, unscrew, pump, and tap out. I actually find that kind of funny that they put that on there. It does contain sunscreen. I think I'm going to do a flash photography test for you guys, just because the double wear is probably the worst foundation for me personally for flashback. So I'm going to see how bad this is, or if it's okay for flashback. And it's an SPF of 25 compared to the 10 of the double wear. So it has a little bit more SPF in it, which is great for day wear. Now I'm just going to insert some pictures with flash and without flash, so you guys can compare if you're interested in this for photography or for just daily wear and you're taking pictures, selfies, whatever. I'm going to take some photos for you guys. Great thing about my camera is that I can film while taking photos. So these are going to be just without the flash right now. So this is with my ring light and how my skin looks. Now we are going to go to some daylight. This is really awkward. So this is what my skin looks like in daylight. Now we're just going to try the true test and see if flashback is an issue with this foundation. I find with my ring light I look a little bit washed out. Not too bad though. So let's try the flash. Okay, I hope those pictures were a little bit helpful for you to see how flash works on the skin. I'm pretty sure from what I could tell on the screen it was flashing back because I am quite tan and I was looking quite ghostly. So that's just a problem with SPF. You gotta be aware of that in general. It doesn't surprise me for this foundation. So I'm going to go about my day. I'm going to periodically check back in with you guys and let you know how it's wearing. I will show you close-ups of my skin and stuff to see if there's any fading or any issue going on with the foundation. So I'm not sure kind of the schedule. I'll just kind of randomly pop in and check back with you guys. I will be having quite a long evening, so I thought this was perfect because I'm going to be doing errands all during the day, and I think I will be going out for drinks later tonight with some girlfriends. So I will really see how this holds up, maybe take some pictures, show you how those look with my skin later on in the day. So I won't be touching it up at all, just to really test how this makeup is going to hold on. See you guys in a bit. This is my first check-in. It's been about 3 hours. Not sure if I should check in at this point because everything still looks good. So 3 hours in, still looking pretty fresh, and foundation's looking good, hasn't budged. The only thing I don't like about my makeup is how much highlight I put on, but that has nothing to do with my foundation. So yeah, everything's looking good. Skin looks good, not fading, budging. Everything's good. So I will check back on you in some more hours. My dogs are barking. Hey guys, I'm back to check in. It is 5:30 now, so it's been a little over 6 hours, and I have noticed a little bit of change in my foundation. I have a little bit of settling into my expression lines. So right around my mouth, I can tell it's settling a little bit in there. It's barely noticeable though. And then in between my brows there as well. But that's just me being really, really picky. Otherwise, it hasn't settled into any other lines on my face, just where I really am more expressive around the mouth. But it hasn't faded at all or anything. Any other places around my mouth or on my face, it still looks exactly like how it looked when I put it on. Probably a little bit shiny, but not shiny in a bad way. I like the whole glow, and it's my ring light as well that kind of reflects off my skin. But so far so good. I'd say 6 hours you're good to go without any primer. I probably at this point wouldn't even bother using a primer with this foundation just because it is that good so far. So a little over 6 hours, still pretty much perfect. So I will check back with you guys in a little bit longer. Hey guys, it's officially been 9 hours, and I can tell at this point that my foundation is fading a little bit on my nose, but I always have trouble with foundation staying. I'm a little bit shinier. The issue with my creasing, it looks pretty much the same. It maybe actually looks a little bit better than it did at 6 hours, which is weird. But yeah, I can tell a little bit of my freckles are peeking slightly through on my chin and then my nose, which is the typical areas I have for fading just because of eating or whatnot, and just my nose just doesn't hold anything in general. One thing I did want to mention is that this foundation doesn't transfer, and that's huge for me because I do have a son and he's always touching my face and just getting near my makeup, and the last thing I want is my makeup to transfer onto him. So that's a huge plus. The same thing goes for double wear though, so I was expecting it to not transfer as well, so I really like that about this foundation as well. So I'm going to leave you here and we'll see if I check back in with you guys in another few hours. Hey guys, it's midnight and my foundation has now been on 13 hours. So as you can imagine, it's withstood a lot of activity today. I can definitely tell that it is fading, which is to be expected kind of after 13 hours of wear. It still doesn't look that bad. I still went out with my foundation like this. My blush, bronzer, and highlight stood on so well. Like, that's really what I can see. It looks still really good on my cheeks. I haven't touched that up at all. But the foundation, obviously, I haven't powdered or anything at all today. No setting spray, no powder. I am quite shiny and I'm normal skin. Normal to dry, but more so normal right now. So I am a little bit shiny. I would powder and touch up my face at this point. I don't even think at the 9 hour mark I would have bothered. I might a little bit on my nose. But it stood up really well. I think it is a great foundation. My first impression is really good for this. I can't wait to try it with the primer and a setting spray to see how it lasts with my normal makeup, but I just wanted to try it without it for those of you who don't use primers or setting sprays. So definitely a good foundation to check out. I'll keep you updated on how I like this, but I definitely can see it being in my favorites this month because it has held up really well and I think it looks fantastic on my skin, especially for a daily foundation with one light thin layer of it. I thought it looked extremely good. And this is 2 layers and it is, as I said, fading. So hope you guys enjoyed this first impression. Please give me a thumbs up if you want to see more first impression videos. I'm gonna go shower, get ready for bed. I'm kind of tired, so I will see you guys in my next video.
When driving, you keep your eyes on the road.
Where are you taking us? You got your Sophie in there, passenger?